Debbie Dolphin. It's just you and me, baby. It's so good out. Oh, baby. This is the life. This is what you want to do. Nice Friday, keep it casual. Oh, baby. I love it, baby. Debbie, you know how to treat a guy. Let me tell you. Oh.
There you are.
Huh?
What are you doing over there?
I'm relaxing with Debbie Dolphin.
Get off early today?
Yes, I
Nice.
did. I got a little head start. I
Got you
didn't
some
really.
waters. I couldn't afford anything better.
That's not straight vodka. I could
No,
swear that that's
it's-
what they were serving. Hang on, let me get out of the pool.
It's the cheap stuff.
I don't want to get wet.
Next
Hang on.
Friday's payday.
Settle
I'll give
down.
you some.
Okay, settle down, Deb. Here we go.
So you need
I
some
gotta
help?
be careful.
Want some help?
No, I'll do it.
Sure.
I gotta be careful. Here, it's one solid.
Oh,
Okay, I think I'm safe and
good.
dry, bone dry. Ah, how was your week, sir?
Yes, sir. Late
It's a
night.
nice casual Friday.
Yeah.
Ah,
Busy day today.
busy day,
Yeah.
busy day all week.
Gotta work out this mixer that wouldn't work.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I had a sound mixer I had to figure out.
Oh, a sound mix? I
Yeah.
thought you meant a blender, and that's why we don't have good drinks.
No, I wish I had one of these.
Ah,
Yeah. To be honest, it's a Rubinoff.
it is. I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Straight Rubinoff, $2.50 for a fifth.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's all I can afford.
Mmm. Oh, it's like drinking fire.
Oh, yeah, that's so you can disinfect cuts with it too, so that's a good thing.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, many uses.
Do you like Debbie? I got Debbie
That's
Dolphin.
sweet. I'm gonna jump on her later.
That's right. You should. You watch this. You be
Mm,
polite.
Sorry.
You ask permission
Okay.
first. Debbie, this type of behavior around the pool, I don't know. I don't know, but you know how it is. No, I have had an exhausting week.
Is that right?
Yes.
Me too. Me
Very
too.
busy.
I'm gonna move this because I feel your elbows.
I am going to elbow
Yeah,
that.
right
We wouldn't want to get wet.
Yeah.
Hang on a
Right into the
second.
pool.
There we
I don't
go.
want you to waste that precious Rubinoff.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right.
So, yeah, busy.
All right.
So,
What we doing?
I'm buried in freelance work.
Okay,
You know what
that's a good thing.
Yes.
One of those good problems.
It is very
All right.
good.
So what's freelance?
Freelance is when a young, artful guy like myself hustles and hustles and hustles. And he meets people and makes network connections and has some talent and skills with various things he does, whether it's graphic design or hosting a gig or doing stuff. So as my continued pursuit for a full-time job goes on, I am riddled with freelance opportunities at least. People saying, hey, you know what though? At least we can this, at least we can that. You know? Maybe do this, maybe that. So I got a lot of cool stuff done. Like I did.
Yeah.
But it's not as steady as like, I will go to a place at a certain time, leave at the same
Sure.
time, and get a check.
Paycheck, right?
Yes.
Right. So there's advantages and disadvantages.
Yes,
right? You
because
make
I
your
can
own
do
schedule.
all of this in my pajamas,
Yeah.
which is just underpants, really.
Right. From home or by the
Yes.
pool even.
Or by the pool
Mm.
in my underpants.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to get some work done.
Yeah.
So I just finished doing a children's book for a dentist.
Okay.
Yep, I designed a logo for a guy who makes drone parachutes. Fascinating, right?
Yeah.
And I may have just secured a new comic gig for a fantasy comic for Toy Swords, Toy Sword Company.
Cool. All right.
They want comics, and I'm like He-Man mini comics.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Super fun, right?
That's great. It's
So
perfect.
we're gonna see if any of this works out,
Yeah.
and I get some of that extra money,
Mhm.
so that I can hang out with gorgeous ladies like Debbie Dolphin and have a good time, make friends, buy some more pool things.
Okay.
I
That's
feel
where
like
the money's
Popeye.
going.
Yes,
All right.
the money's gone.
Yeah.
All the money that I get
Mm.
and that we get, it just goes back into all the stuff that we
Right.
do.
Yeah.
All the
Sure.
creations. You moved that drink right good. Thanks,
Invest
right.
in the business. That's what I sorry.
Right.
Premonitions.
Listen, I like to talk with my hands.
Yeah.
One time I was talking to my friend about a baby. And I was like, oh, blah, blah, I'm gonna raise a baby, and then this and that, yada, yada. And then I was done, and I handed him a baby. Like I was talking about a baby, and I did this.
And
And
he
when I
gave
was
back
done,
up.
I
Yeah.
handed him that
Did he-
invisible
did he-
baby.
did he, put it
And
in
he
his
was like,
Baby Bjorn.
right, his invisible baby. Yes, ridiculous.
So, okay.
Busy week.
2 questions about the freelance.
Go.
One, have you ever had any problems with people paying you?
No. Sometimes a little delayed, but I always just look at that as money in the bank. It's not like I'm ever down to the last penny.
So you've never had to like hound people for money that you
You do, a
Yeah.
little, but, you know, so long as it's like, I need the rent by tomorrow, are you gonna pay me for that job?
Okay.
I don't expect someone to have to pay me the moment that I'm going to need it and I'm desperate.
Sure.
Legally, people have 3 months to pay you for a project.
Is that right?
Yeah, they can wait a while, so
Okay.
I don't ever worry. And it is, when it comes to freelancing, yeah, you gotta have invoices, so I do invoices, I do things, you gotta be professional and all that, but, so much I love doing that, paperwork, woo! So, that's the thing, you do the freelance, you gotta do some of that, and again, be professional, have invoices, stuff like that. I've never had to really chase anyone down
Okay.
for long, they're like, oh, well, we'll get it to you, blah, 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 and then
Yeah.
maybe they don't, within a month.
Okay.
You know, but I'm always just like, okay, I have the rent,
Right.
but then I will say, hey, I gotta pay my rent,
Mm.
and it gets me on like the second, I already paid my rent, I'm good.
Right.
So,
Just more
that's when people should not, don't put yourself over a barrel,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, but other than that, fine,
Okay.
you
So
know.
I've had some issues.
Have you?
Yeah. I
How much
actually-
freelance stuff? Freelance writing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A while ago. This is sort of before I started getting a paycheck for it. That was sort of like my first, attempt at being a professional writer. I freelanced
Okay.
for like 3 months. I didn't
All
make
right.
enough to really. I was driving Uber as well, so I was kind
Smart.
of doing two. And I was making just enough, but it was
Right.
enough to get me a job where they paid me to write. So
Right,
it worked.
right.
That was my goal.
No, it's true,
Yeah.
and again, like, it's hard to find a staff job for art, because again, I'm
Yeah.
meeting the art director, I'm not taking his job, like, he's
Yeah.
the guy that I'm talking to.
Right.
But he's not a cartoonist, like I am
Yeah.
a Garfield style cartoonist.
Right.
Children's book
Specialty.
illustration,
Yeah.
yes. So it's like, well, no one here at the firm does children's book illustration specifically.
Mhm.
Here's a guy in town that is exactly what he does, and what a grand slam,
Yeah, yeah.
because I showed them my cute fruits and vegetables book,
Mhm.
and they loved it, and it was great.
Okay.
I gotta think some, I forgot to put my pager on, hang on.
You get your pager going?
Get that
Yeah, yeah,
pager
yeah,
going,
yeah.
I gotta make sure that you can hear me too.
It's a 413.
That's right, what did that used to mean? Could that mean?
143 was I love you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
darling, you darling.
So the freelance, I still have my second question, but I'll get to it in a
Go
minute.
on.
So my little story. I'm still owed $200 for a book that I ghost wrote for a guy.
Really?
Yeah, and this is from about last November, and I've emailed him a few times about it. It was through one of those freelance websites, like I think.
Never used one.
Yeah, they're okay.
What is that like?
I had overall good experiences with them. So I did people per hour, and then the other one I can never remember the name. It's one of the big ones too, Upwork.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was through Upwork, and yeah, I had a pretty good experience except for this one, where the thing is they're lower paid gigs than you're going to get through marketing yourself.
Right.
Put yourself out there. So it's a good entry level thing, but you're not getting the good paying. It's people looking to get cheap work.
Sure,
You know,
like
and
Fiverr.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like-
like a step above Fiverr.
Yeah.
You're competing with people from India, Bangladesh, places
Okay.
like that, who will work for nothing.
Okay.
You know.
I'm gonna sit and face you. I feel like I'm gonna get a
Yeah,
crick
I
in
know,
my neck.
It's like you're facing an audience. Or
I
something.
don't think what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
No wonder I'm about to hit the drinks.
So there was one guy,
Yeah.
and he was like a motivational speaker, and he hired me to ghostwrite his book. It was a fictionalized book, but it was supposed to have kind of a lesson, I guess, of kind of balancing work and life and
Okay.
that kind of stuff. So I wrote the book for him. Within a month, he got a deal, $1,000, which is very cheap to ghostwrite a full novel. You know?
Really?
Yeah, which he was already getting a deal. Gave me $800 and then just stopped paying me, and was always in contact. Was calling me once a week, and then all of a sudden stopped.
Huh.
I looked him up recently, and he's doing like morning TV shows and all this
Really?
kind of stuff. Like he's building his career on this book that I wrote.
This is devastating news. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's crazy. And the thing that's great about it though, and I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but he never had me sign an NDA.
Okay.
So the book is called Chasing Success.
Okay.
Right? I can say that because I never signed an NDA. So I can, and I've been tempted to do this, but I want him to pay me. And I know once I do this, he won't pay me, but he's got a Facebook page, a lot of followers on there. Everything he writes is, 30, 40 comments and everything. I could just go in there and be like, I wrote your damn book and you haven't paid me. You scumbag.
Ooh,
I can do that.
throwing that
Yeah.
shade on the internet?
I got a little power, and I always
Oh,
think, is it
no.
worth $200? I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have the money, but it's over a year, and I don't know.
Oh, does he just owe you an extra two? Is that?
Extra $2, which is crazy. It's like you can't give me.
You could
$200.
probably, maybe you should just send him a DM, and maybe it would.
I have.
Well,
Sent him
really?
He's ignored it. Yeah.
Savages.
Insane, right? Yeah.
Savages.
So that's yeah. So that's been that was sort of where I sort of stopped. That was like my last big job.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, this week I got a package in the mail
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm making this about me now.
No, do it. Give me that package. That's great.
Yeah.
I'll go put it over here. Hang on a second. Let me go put my package over there. Oh, pardon my package. Hang on a second. No, but go on.
Got a package in the mail, didn't know what it was, addressed to me, and I opened it up, and it was hardcover books, like 4 or 5 of them, another book that I was hired to write. This one has my name on it.
Okay.
And you know what the subject is?
What?
It's the thing, I mean, you'd be like, of course that's what you wrote about. Teenage girls' hair care.
By Joel Foster.
Exactly. There's I'll give you one. I have like 4 or 5 of them.
Will you sign it? I hope so.
Yes, I will.
You have to sign it to me. Whip your hair back and forth. Sign Joel Foster. And I will just be like, yay.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, that's my freelance experience.
Yeah, well, that's a freelance nightmare. That's true. Let's hope. Yeah.
You know?
Let's hope I don't have to deal with too much of that, because I got some weird things happening with that sort of thing, and it's really cool.
Okay.
It actually kind of goes into some of the stuff that like I'm up to this weekend. So I have a working weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I've been nothing but working weekends.
Yeah?
Like the last few
Yeah, no, me too.
This
That-
weekend, clear. I've
Oh, good.
nothing to report.
Yeah.
I've got it open.
So you know me, Prince of Promotion, King of Commotion, events all the time. So St. Patrick's Day was last week, and it went phenomenal.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was great.
Good as gold.
Yeah.
So that was great. And what else? This weekend, and something before that, weekend events, hosting stuff. This weekend is Thrive Weekend from Startup Tucson.
Okay.
So Startup Tucson is a place around town, and they're to help businesses and people with ideas for businesses get started. They do seminars, they have free coffee meetings, they have startup drinks, that's a drinking event,
Okay.
and it's a good way, again, you hear about people and how you're supposed to network. What does that even mean?
Right.
It means going to things like this and actually talking to strangers. So
Question, is that how you find your clients generally for freelance?
no, but it's worked because, again, that parachute thing I was doing, the drone one,
Yeah.
that was a guy I met in the program. So it was like, oh, I'm the guy he knows that does design, so of course I'm going to get that call.
Right.
So
being the person that
Yep.
pops into their
yeah,
head.
this is more of a I happen to know a guy type of job, but I got to meet, you meet 20 teams and do it. So the whole thing is the Thrive Weekend is kind of this crash course in business. Okay, it's 3 days, it's super intensive. And then what it really is kind of a preview for the Thrive program, which is an 11-week course, all right? So I took that program last year, and it was really good, and I can't recommend it enough to people that have a great idea and want to kind of get forward, but it can't go to business school, they're not going to go to Eller, because it's a lot of money to the U of A, they're not going to this, but this 11-week course, worth the money, and I came out of it with, like, not to be bragging, but
Go ahead, brag.
I'll do
Brag
it.
out.
It's just me and you. So one of these things that happened is, turns out at the end of this whole shebang, is it is actually a competition. At the end of it, you are pitching to a bunch of what they call angel investors. That's people that are rich and just have money and say, I'll back that. To other business people, people that might want to invest in possible donors and stuff like that, to things that you do. So, and it's at the, where was it? It was at some big like cathedral downtown.
The one around here.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, so some big hall, fancy hall, big cathedral hall, all that stuff, and you got to get up, and this is what they prep you for in the last few weeks of it, is you are giving a 7-minute presentation, slide deck of all the things that your business does and why it does what it does, and then how it's going to help the community, where it's going to be in 5 years, how big it can scale, how much it makes, all this stuff, right?
Okay.
So my pitch was the comic book mobile. So I used to own Constant Con, remember?
Yeah.
So I pivoted the idea of the brick and mortar Constant Con, which is tough in Tucson because there is an event or a festival every weekend. So lots of people are all over town, right? Coming downtown, it's not exactly the priority. And I was trying to kind of have a fun art gallery and an events-based business.
Okay.
But at the same time, there's all these art events all over town, right?
Right.
So the idea was to take the store mobile.
Okay.
All right.
It's like a food truck. But
Food truck,
right.
except for fun and art, all right? And then where can you take it directly? Right to schools, okay? Take it to schools and do seminar type of thing or an assembly, and I dress like a goof and do all that stuff, and, not as professionally dressed as I am now, obviously. But, do all of that, and then, school pays you to do this stuff, and it's great. Get to help kids and be that guy, because I think, do you have a memory from school? Tell me about a school memory that you have growing up. If something sticks out that you remember. Like, what day of school do you really remember?
Day of school?
Think of a day of school that might stick out. Let's see if this little experiment works.
All right. Geez. Put me on the spot
I know.
I remember these weird presentations we'd have in middle school.
Okay.
Where they set up these like 3 panels.
Yeah.
And it was this video. I still don't remember. Like none of us at the time knew what the point of the video was, and,
Yeah.
and still don't.
Yeah.
But I just remember it had a lot of Queensryche in it. The band Queensryche.
That's funny.
That was like the soundtrack to it.
So
I don't know why that comes to my head, but that was one of those things.
I'll tell you, because it's a day that disrupted every other day.
Okay.
Usually that day, and the answer I get most commonly, it's something like that. A presentation,
Yeah.
someone visited the school, field day. Okay?
Right.
People remember field trips,
I had
field
some
day?
great field trips.
Right.
I remember this field day we took in elementary school where I got super serious about it, like, because we were going to have a baseball game.
Yeah.
And I made, like, lineups, and I was really into baseball at the time.
Yeah.
And we ended up not even playing. Like, I was so serious about it, and it's like, didn't even happen.
That sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I love
So that's the idea, is that I've met a lot of art people, creative people, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them say they have a story, and you've heard the story. I met some famous actor when I was young, and you'll see celebrities talk about this now. I met some famous actor when I was young.
Yeah.
And he just said to me, go for it. And for some reason, ever since then, I never looked back. And it's this weird thing about giving permission for people to be successful.
Yeah.
And people that people look up to, that give people that permission, that's what they need. And you're right.
Sure.
You're right, Rowdy Roddy Piper. That's who I talk to.
Oh,
All right.
Mine was
And
a
he-
great teacher.
Yeah.
It was mine, in terms of nobody famous I can think of.
Yeah, no, he said, get it. And I was talking about what I want. He's like, get it. Nothing can stop you. And I'm like, I'm gonna get it.
Get it.
Yeah,
Something like that.
that's right. He's a lunatic. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, just when you think you got all the answers, he changes the questions. So that's the thing about it, is that being a guy that can inspire, and again, it might not be a celebrity. I use celebrities because it's a good example. A lot of people, I remember it was a CBS special, and I saw adults drawing, and it was Superman. All right?
Okay.
For the Sunday comics.
Yeah.
And realized, wait, adults, this is what they do? And it was a whole gathering of Jim Davis and the latest Kathy and just, Superman creators and all these people doing it was a special about comic strip artists, and I was blown away. And it's one of these things where you meet an adult that does a thing that you're like, wait a minute, what? I can do that? You know?
Yeah, I guess I remember that too. Like, I think learning that people wrote movies.
Yeah.
Where you're like, yeah, there's somebody who
Yeah,
wrote these
someone wrote
things,
that
and
thing.
they're-
The credits,
That's their job.
yeah,
right?
the credits mean something.
Yeah.
So I want to be that for kids. I know that if I come to the school and I'm the guy that disrupts their day and does a great job at being a maniac, having fun, giving them free cartoons and teaching them how to draw and giving them the permission to succeed and be different. Be that zebra with different colored stripes, all that thing that they say that they want you to be, but nothing else tells you to be that way. Be that. Be a zebra of a different color and promote the idea of individuality and help kids deal with the cyberbullying that's gone through the roof and all that sort of stuff. So that's my idea of going to the schools, doing all that stuff with the bus, big crazy bus that I make look super fun and all that stuff. And it's books. I bring books because kids don't realize they can read Macbeth, but it's a comic,
Okay.
So you can unleash all this stuff, history books, all this stuff. There's a lot of comics from Scholastic and other things like that. It's just that they need a delivery system. They need a fun guy to deliver it and someone to make a day memorable. So that's what I did. Pitched that idea at that competition, did it in a big slide deck, and I won the whole thing.
Whoa,
That's
good
right.
ending of that.
I'll take it.
Wow.
So I won that competition.
Okay, so-
And it was really good. I won a bunch of prizes that are not cash, but it's like, this company's going to make me a commercial. This company's going to make me 2 ads. This company's going to make me this many AdWords credit on like Google stuff, and this much Amazon Web Services.
Okay.
So a bunch of, it was almost like I won like a team.
Business team.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So
Have
fascinating.
you used any of these yet?
Not yet,
Okay.
because again, with the real reason is because I don't have a steady job. So
Oh,
all the
that's
freelance,
keeping you
all that hustle with freelance, all that time spent, meetings and things like that, it does add up. And and I'm still trying to keep myself afloat, and barely, by paying those bills. So it's been difficult because again,
You should bring along your little friend.
these
there.
sexy legs, you mean? These
I'm
gams?
talking about that dolphin.
Oh,
friend.
Debbie Dolphin.
Keep you afloat.
That's true. Well done. Oh, I got it.
Got it? All right.
Well done.
Spell that one out. All right.
It was good. That was worth all of the hurdles I put in your way. That was great. So yeah, so now it's a year later, all right? And did I bring it with me? I am a mentor. Mental? No, mentor.
Right, okay.
Yes, I got rid of that other badge. But yes, I am a mentor at Thrive Weekend, and it's very exciting because I feel like I can give back from what I learned from that whole experience of going through a very tough, very invasive business class, people telling you, you are wrong, your idea is wrong, try this, do it again, you're making assumptions about that, all this stuff.
And that's a huge step in
It's
any career, really,
yes.
to get ahead, is to be
Yes.
able to deal with that criticism,
Yep.
constructive criticism.
You got to take real
not
criticism.
being defensive to it.
Nope.
And not saying, well, that's because of this,
Yeah.
but saying, okay, and
Yeah.
thinking about that. Because usually it's right. You know,
Right.
if you let your ego down and
Yep. But a lot of times, a lot of people in these courses and a lot of people in life, you see it, it's the math equation of like, you know, like paper towels, cotton candy, question mark, money. You know, like there's that meme.
right.
And
there's a lot of like
that's a lot of people.
that person did this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this and change
Yeah.
it slightly.
Yeah,
It's-
and profit, like that's
Cha-ching,
it,
yeah.
yeah. But that's the problem, is they think that they have good ideas, and they don't. And we have to help them realize their ideas are maybe not just bad, but it's already been done 6 times. What's gonna make it better? Well, I'll do it better. No, we'll care more. No, it doesn't make sense. So you have to be critical, and I went to art school, so again, my whole life is just, it's criticism. And my parents, but it's criticism. So you gotta be able to take criticism. You gotta know when to stand your ground. Because there was almost one of my mentors last year, she was very tough, but wrong.
Oh, okay.
She was wrong.
So how do you know whether someone's wrong or whether...
You do experiments.
Okay.
So the idea was, it shouldn't just be that, it should also be a party bus to make money on weekends. Or I'll have this bus, I'll have this tool. So I got a bus in my driveway.
Okay.
All right,
So
and
multiple streams.
right, and there's going to be, let's pretend U2 is going to come to up in Phoenix. Well, then I can sell tickets to my party bus to come. We'll play U2 trivia the whole time. And hate U2, by the way.
Right.
Which is why it's like, why would I do this, right? And that's what it became. And then also, right, and I can make money doing it, but then,
Fest or whatever,
yeah.
I can see that being huge.
right, but then drinking on the bus. What if someone doesn't get along with someone? There's a 2-hour ride home. There's a lot of other things to take care of. And again, what if someone gets sick? And then I got an appointment to go to a school on Monday.
Right.
Like, I don't think it's appropriate to be this drunk-ass party bus, as well as I'm trying to educate kids and stand for something and be the fun cartoon bus.
Right.
I'd rather
I'm
go
assuming you're going to paint it and it's going to
all
be
wacky and
mysterious,
fun.
So
So I'd rather take that to the Ren Fair and just be there. I'd rather take it to non-alcohol fueled things and party things. You know, I'm not going to take it to the Super Bowl if the Super Bowl's in Phoenix. It's not, I don't think it's good for the business. You get it?
Yeah,
She was very hell-bent on I should make it a party bus. And I went on and on, then we did an experiment. Now out of that experiment came something great. So there's a guy around here, you know, he goes by, you've seen him on the high seas, you've seen him around, he goes by the name of Captain Oblivious of the SS Ridiculous.
Yes, I have seen it.
So that was an experiment that that fellow did, and Captain Oblivious decided I will do a tour, drinking bar crawl tour, adult tour, okay? And just from some of the people that showed up, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Okay.
I don't want to hang out with these
You're
chumps.
babysitting.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm babysitting these people in their stupid pop collar shirts and their blowouts, and they're being snarky at what I'm doing.
Okay.
Then why did you sign up?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're trying to show off to their friends.
I guess, but like if you think it's stupid, then
Right.
don't do it.
Maybe here, yeah,
But
yeah.
it was like they were there to like mock it, you know? So I'm like, I don't want to hang out with people that do this sort of behavior and don't appreciate what it is. I'm like, kids, I want to do stuff. Even, let me tell you something, even my cartooning lately. Like I was just saying, I did a cute dentist book, and now I might do a fun comic for Toy Swords, and I have my kids' books that I've done, and I've gone more toward kid-friendly things.
You're less jaded, you know. I mean, you don't have to deal.
I've
with
grown up,
cynicism.
well, I'll be honest with you, I've grown up, and I've grown out of being jaded.
Right.
When you're younger,
So,
yeah.
trying to, you know,
As I've gotten older, you kind of just get soft. And I don't mean where it counts. But like that's some of it. Things are a little soft. You're not as angry as one once was.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and that was me anyway. My art is very cute and cartoony, yet it was Pissed Off Panda and Pig Venus. Pig Venus. You'll love every inch of them. All right? So it's adorable and funny, right?
Right.
At Comic-Con, kids come up, cute pig, and I'm like, and the parents will laugh or they get upset. And if the kid's old enough to know it, I'm like, well, that's the gauge. If he gets the joke, if the kids get the joke, because some kids, they don't get the joke at all.
Sure, it's just a cute pig.
Right.
Yeah.
But when they get the joke, it's like, well, they're old enough in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's not exactly, it takes a little thinking.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's called a spoonerism. So that's that. So it's really interesting, and you see how just this conversation has opened up kind of 9 different topics all about my life. So the business school and having people challenge you is always good. It's always good. Be challenged.
Yeah.
Let people tell you if the quality of the thing you're doing is not up to snuff, if your singing's not great. I had people insult my singing, and I got insulted.
Were they silly? Come on.
So mad,
Talking about here.
right?
The golden voice.
That's
the golden
right.
Larynx.
And then, then I watched that video and listened to it, and boy, were those people right.
Yeah.
Because
I think we're great singers, right? That's like
I
the
am
shower thing. Like, yeah, I can do this.
No, I'm a karaoke king. I can do it. I swear. So yeah. No, so it's been Thrive Weekend. It's going to be Thrive Weekend all weekend. So I'm working weekend up at 7 a.m. I don't know what I'm thinking.
That goes till like what time?
About 5.
Oh, so it's like
It's a good long day of
long
each
work
day.
day,
Yeah,
too.
even today. That's.
you just come home.
Yep. I got done and just jumped right in the pool. I was done.
Yeah. Is
So-
it something you pay for, or is it something you're chosen? Like, how's it?
Well, no, you pay for this. This is a
Okay.
thing you sign up for. And here's something cool. I did a fundraiser for my birthday, okay? Because you can do that now on Facebook. It's like,
Yeah.
So I did one for Startup Tucson. I was like, oh, you could pick a nonprofit. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. They showed up. I'm like, great, because everyone's donating to cancer and everything. It's like they get a lot of money. How about the thing down the street from you?
Yeah.
So I did it for that because,
What if cancer's right down the street?
if cancer's right down the street, you might want to move. But with this being right down the street, I was like, well, duh, let's support this. They did a lot for me.
Yeah.
I won the thing. I benefited a lot. I learned a ton. It was great. I think more people should take this, of course.
Right.
So I made my thing for that. I was asking for $400, and I got $500. All right.
Yeah.
So now, this year, I was surprised. It was great. I go sit down. We're doing the thing, and then we're talking about what are the prizes from your weekend. Okay. Because again, like you pay for the course. It's only $100 a person, or whatever I think it is. About that. The longer course is a few thousand, but the weekend course just $100 a person. All right.
That's a night out. That's a
Right.
dinner and drinks.
And again, you're getting so much business school. I swear.
and that's,
You really are.
20, 30,000 a
Right.
year.
You really are. You really are. You get a lot of business school out of these 3 days. And then, seriously, I got a lot of business school out of those 11 weeks. Like, absolutely. So it was really fun because there I am, and I donated a bunch of money to them. I donated all that money. And they said, okay, we're going to take some of that money, and we're going to make a scholarship in your name. And I'm like, what?
Oh, the Costanza.
Right, yeah. It's exactly that. It is exactly that.
That's exciting.
Yep. And I've always,
Choose?
yes. Okay. Now, I don't know, and I didn't want like I'm the one that chooses, like we're all going to choose.
Yeah.
But I was trying to come up with what the award should be, and I really was just kind of stuck. And then they came up with it's the Frank Powers 100% Hustle Award. Isn't
Okay.
that something?
All right, so
the one who hustles the most and does the most and stands out, because I did last year. I did. It wasn't like a fluke.
Right.
I'll tell you, I damn people, and I can't wait as a mentor to give them some of that tough love, where it's like, all right, tonight you're going to go home. Are you going to rehearse your thing? You better rehearse your thing in front of the mirror. You better rehearse it 50 times. I don't care how stupid you feel. Just go do it. Everyone in that class that I took it with, I'd make that statement. I said, me and Natalia, who I won it with, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without her, we rehearsed a lot for hours because she was very nervous. And I'm like, I'm going to have it so that you don't have to worry about it, because you can tell I don't care.
Right,
But
sure.
I'm still nervous, and this is like riding on it.
Yeah.
And you spent money. It's like you want to win, and you want to be the best.
The trick is to make it seem like you're not nervous, and you're.
Of course.
And that's.
Yep.
When you get that, oh wow, you didn't seem nervous. That's
Yep.
a good thing, right?
And the way to make it
I
seem that way
sweat.
is to really practice and just trust yourself.
Yeah.
So we would do it, and I know that those other people, that class ends at 4:30, they're done. They're not doing it. They show up, and the class would only meet 3 times a week. You'd see they're showing up on Tuesday. They didn't do anything. They didn't think about anything since Saturday. And then Thursday comes, oh, they didn't thought about this since Tuesday. I'm just watching it.
Okay.
And I am just drilling every day, doing all this stuff, doing all the things that it takes to win. Like really putting in the effort and the hours. And again, this was also part of, didn't have a job at the time, so I could. So I made sure that I'm like, you don't have a job, you better.
Yeah.
So it was really all about that, and it was about working hard, proving it, doing it very publicly, which I do, okay? Again, during this time, I literally, Captain Oblivious showed up and I gave a whole tour during the Return of the Mermaids parade and took over a whole portion of it and then end up being the host of the costume party, okay, of the costume contest. That doesn't happen all the time, right?
Right, but it goes with your brand.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the type of thing that I did. Like where it is like really, I made commercials, videos. Here's the other thing. People are afraid to get in front of a camera. Can you believe it? Right. They're afraid to get in front of a camera, to do an ask, afraid to hit the share button. But they're afraid to make those videos, ask for a thing. Some people might even be too shy to ask for a birthday fundraiser. Oh, I don't want to bother people.
Yeah. That's
You have to bother people to be successful.
We're bothered all day. I mean,
Right.
say we see how many thousands of ads per
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Do you get
And you
mad
spend-
at Pepsi when they?
I know.
Oh, how dare they?
How
I was doing
dare-
something, and then I have to watch this
Yeah.
delicious soda.
Yeah,
being poured
for
into my cup.
15 seconds. I can skip it in 5. Like, and it's ridiculous, right? So you don't get mad at the billboards you drive past, but well, there it is. They're popping up too on the horizon line. So it's one of those things, but it's awesome. And now again, like to come back and I get to be Mr. Miyagi this time, and be a mentor to these people who, all right, I know the mistakes to make, and I'm gonna really, hold you to it. Like you need to work hard on it. If you want to win, you got to work harder than anyone else, and you got to not be shy. You got to do all the things to not be shy. You got to not do this. You got to do all the things to not be like. That's all you got to do. If you've got to stutter, let the other person talk. If the two of you stink at it, get someone to be your face man. They're going to deliver your presentation for your business to get that person to be able to deliver your message. Just like any company does, just like anyone does when they hire a celebrity. Nothing wrong with getting someone to help you, So that's it. So now I have a whole weekend of that, enough of that. I have a whole weekend of that in front of me, which is really fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really amped up about it, you can tell. Like, because I do like it, and you get that feeling that you get when you're kind of exhausted, tired, haven't eaten, but man, you got adrenaline.
Yeah, I like that feeling.
I do
When
too.
we did the Christmas special, that's the way I felt. I was
Yes.
running on fumes. I was eating weird times.
You were not eating at all.
Well, I wasn't. I would have a dinner at midnight. when I
I'm
go home.
texting you pictures, eat a sandwich,
yeah,
and you're like, you're completely right.
It's that crazed kind of, I don't know, I picture like Beethoven feeling when he's, he was.
Well, it's the blue note, even though was he deaf?
He was deaf.
Yeah, okay, so it's the blue note. That's the old term for when you're doing something and it's all, when you're in the zone. There was a Pete and Pete about this. He was in the zone, okay? Like you're in the zone. Or Clarissa Explains It All, actually, from that. You remember that from Nickelodeon
Yeah,
at all?
of course, yeah.
It was
Joan Hart.
Yeah, love it. All right, about being in the zone.
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
and
Yeah,
it's
flow, they call it
Yep,
sometimes, or-
and it's that. It's also when I read a thing a long time ago. It was by a toy designer, okay, and it was this company called Art Asylum. They went out of business a while back, but they were the first company for action figures and toys to put credits on the back. Here's the sculptor. Here's the painter.
Oh, wow, okay.
Shouldn't you care about that person who made Blanca look amazing?
Yeah.
Like that's the idea, is that they did that. And he said, and they're interviewing about how do you know what you do, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you found your calling in life or the thing that you want to do. When you sit down to do the thing you're going to do and you put on some music, and 7 hours later you realize the music stopped. That's the trick. And that's me all day.
Yep.
I'm sure it is you too with writing.
It's like that, definitely. Like I almost feel like something else has taken over. When
Yep.
you look at the clock, it's like 2 hours. Like,
Yep.
what was I doing?
Yes.
Jess, my wife, is the same way. Like
Yep.
she's paid. I get up at 9 or 8 for work, and she's still up.
Yeah.
Painting and
Yeah.
no sound. Like
Yep. You're just there and just going.
And that's not because you forced yourself to do that.
Nope.
Because,
It's a weird, perfect concentration that you settle into.
Yeah.
Where you're in the zone, And again, going back to the blue note, so we all do that daily. But man, there are some times when you are on a creative go, and it's called hearing the blue note. All right, when everything's seen and you just are, you feel it.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when you want to feel classy and creative, you put on classical music. It makes you feel that way, doesn't it? Does it not elicit that sort of response? When you're in a museum, don't you feel a little quieter? And
yeah, for sure.
you think.
I get like, with like the Festival of Books, for example, like
Right.
some of those, like that gets me like jazzed when I hear this kind of stuff. Ideas,
Yeah.
being in an environment where there's a lot of ideas going around.
Yeah.
That feeds on that, and it's, yeah, it gives me that kind of energy where like I want to go create something right now. Like,
Right.
I've got it in me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's
And
a lot
I
of
think it's
it.
taking advantage of it too, because when you have that feeling, you got to do something.
You gotta,
Because a lot of times
because
it's,
it
"I
fades
also,"
away.
You know, your friend texts you, and that's the time
Yep.
like, no, I got to do this.
Yep.
It's time.
Dude, not only is it that, it's the time where you're like, I gotta pee.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
45 minutes go by, and you're like, I never pee. Like, that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why it makes me sad when you see people whose lives are, I work a cash register, and that was me. Because man, there's an emptiness to it. Like
Right.
when you're exhausting yourself through your terrible day to get home and feel terrible about what you just did and unfulfilled. So then what do? Nothing, because you're drained. That's the cycle. That's the cycle.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. I mean,
Yeah.
People, yeah, that's
And that's why you see when people break out of that cycle all of a sudden, oh look, sometimes getting fired is some of the best thing for anybody, because then you see them, it's like, and then I decided to just try this thing I've been thinking about for 7 years,
Yeah,
and it worked.
That was mine. I mean, I wanted to write since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was teaching for about 10 years and enjoyed it, but got to the point where I was like burnt out, as happens to 90% of teachers out there, especially in public schools. And I had the fortune, I was fortunate enough to be paid through the summer. So I said, I'm done after this year. But
Okay.
I'm still paid through the summer. So
Cool.
I had those 3 months.
Yep.
Steady paycheck going through. So that was very fortunate to have that.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, all right, I got to make this happen. I got to find freelance clients. I got to start getting paid to write.
Yeah.
And that was.
I'll be honest with you, I can't even, how do you get paid to write? I'm not even lying, because it's, hey, like, this wouldn't go as smoothly as I thought as a demonstration. But like, hey, I draw cartoons, see?
Yeah.
That's how I get work, okay? Where I show people the stuff I draw.
Yeah. So
It's
a lot
done.
A lot of it is having a portfolio.
Of like
Yeah,
written
so
work that you do, like really, like here I'm submitting this, and they do, because this is the other thing I hear about portfolio reviews. Remember, you got to even these illustration portfolios. Oh, you got to set them up quick, this and that. You're getting 30 seconds of their time. They're gonna flip, they're gonna flip, they're gonna flip, and it's like, I spent 2.5 weeks on that. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
with writing, it has to be, hey, I wrote this thing, and they have to sit and read it, which is a bit more
Well, they
like.
do. Yeah.
That takes a little more time. I think that if you're getting writing jobs, and art directors, I guess, would be the person. I don't know. What would it be? Who you publisher? It's not an art director.
Publisher or
Like-
usually a lot of websites.
Editor,
It's-
just the editor,
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Like he's got to sit and read it. And again, it's his profession to read things quick and make
Sure,
an
they gotta
analysis
find
on
the
them.
right person for
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, it is tough. I mean, I think with me, I'd say a bunch of the jobs, finding a niche, I guess, was important.
Okay.
I can write funny, so
Right.
a lot of people look for humor.
You know all about young girls' hairstyles in their teen
Exactly.
years.
I mean, for that, I think the other thing is that there's a lot of bad writers out there. That's
Right.
what I found from the pool, and I don't mean to, toot my own horn.
Don't be bad mouthing the pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the pool is full of people who just, crank stuff out. A lot of people who speak English as their second language. You see a lot of that. So
Oh.
when you come from, I also was fortunate to, when I graduated right after college, I got this job writing for a music magazine where I was interviewing pretty big name musicians like Les Claypool from Primus. I got
Wow.
interviewed him, and it was really cool.
I got to draw John Dulman from System of a Down. I got to draw him as one of the Simpsons
Oh, cool.
because he opened up a comic book store. So
Oh,
I put
right.
him in Comic Guy, and he's blasting through it.
One of my friends is actually an assistant for Surge of System of a Down. The
That's
singer.
awesome.
He orchestrates all his music.
Wow.
Went to his wedding and everything.
Wow,
Yeah, very cool,
that's
right?
so cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that's cool. We got a connection.
Well, yeah, that's rad. But I love that. Isn't the interesting thing about freelance is that
Right.
I got to interview Les Claypool. Like really,
Yeah, no, that was great.
That's
that was like
insane.
my first writing job. So I had a lot of solid clips to go from.
Okay.
And it's like a ladder,
Yes,
You
like
get-
anything.
You get more jobs, and you use that to get other jobs, and then you.
well,
get
plus that right there, it is. That's not you submitting like. So I wrote a thing about a girl, then random into tree. It's.
Right.
So I wrote about Les Claypool. Oh.
Yeah.
Instantly, someone is going. Oh.
Right, and they know that you've dealt with deadlines.
Yep.
You've dealt with editors. You
Okay.
have these other people skills that a lot of other people don't have. They might be great writers, but if you're not going to give something on a deadline, you're
Yeah.
of no help to them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're a business. So,
Huh.
Yeah. So
That's interesting. One of my favorite things is interviewing people. Again, after hours of Frank Powers, as you know, 99.1 FM. I know you tune in every Saturday night from 11 to 1. KTDT, Downtown Radio. I know you do it. I love interviewing people. My first interview with like a big deal, and also like it was a written piece, but I just wrote it as a play. I did I say, he says, I say, he says.
Okay.
So I did that style. I got to interview Chris Jericho for this magazine, Royal Flush. So like my favorite wrestler, like still to this day of all time, because he's still crushing it.
Yeah.
Like he has a band, Fozzy, and again, Chris Jericho is this guy who you watch him succeed from up, bottom of the barrel, and then bop, 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 bop. He's the best guy in wrestling. Up, he's going to become the volunteer for this charity hockey team, because his dad used to be one of the New York Rangers. Okay, I believe Irvine, Ted Irvine. So in that one up, he's fourth string on the bench for that first year, and then up, bop, 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 he's the captain of the team. So he starts a metal band, all right? It was called at first Fozzy Osbourne, because it was a joke.
Okay.
And they just did covers, and then it's like, we're starting to get whatever. Now they do originals and covers. Now they're just Fozzy, and they do only originals.
Okay.
Now they release another album, and now this year they just had an album come out, and I believe they made it to like number 40 on the top 100 charts, which is insane, especially for metal, and like number 1 on the metal charts. Like he did it. I'm like watching this guy who's like my hero as I watch him be the best in the world at what he does, because that's his catchphrase. And I watch as everything he goes from WCW cruiserweights to the first undisputed champion in wrestling, from this to the captain, from this to the top of the metal charts. Like to go from a joke metal, like, and as a wrestler, and keeps it all separate, like relatively separate. Fascinating to watch, and it's a guy that you watch grind. Also, he's a podcaster now, has a podcast, one of the first wrestlers that had the podcast, now they all have it, and his was, of course, the best one. His is the best one.
Right.
You know?
All these different steps that you don't
You
see.
watch
People
someone...
talk about overnight success.
Yep,
It never happens.
You watch someone work and just throwing shit to see what sticks. He somehow once was a co-host for the Emmys on E! Entertainment. He got as a gig getting out of wrestling. Okay. Just being that. Yeah. And like, I was like, wow, like way to go. He was on Dancing with the Stars. Okay. Like, so he's a guy that's tried to branch out in lots of ways. But I'm Chris Jericho is his online web series that it's like his Seinfeld. Okay. Where, he's a professional wrestler. Yeah, he used to be the champion, but it's not like he matters. It's like Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld on Seinfeld is a comedian.
But he's not the
the guy.
Jerry Seinfeld
Right.
As a comedian.
And even though on the show, I think he's been on the Tonight Show. Like another character will say, like, yeah, I saw you on the Tonight Show. And it's not a big deal.
But he's never, I mean, you see Seinfeld walking around the streets and people aren't saying, oh, you're Jerry Seinfeld.
Right.
You know, he was just a
right.
guy.
Just, it didn't matter. Yep. Right. So it's interesting. So again, that guy, it's fun to watch a guy, again, hustle. Hustle's like the word of the day for me. So it's fun to watch a guy do that, and especially someone you look up to. And this has always been like my motif. And maybe it's a lot of people, where I've always been obsessed with the best in a way. Like, yeah, Michael Jordan was my favorite, you know? Like, but that's not rare, you know? Everyone does kind of like the best, but I definitely flock toward some of the people in certain areas that I considered the best. And maybe it's the reason like why, which one's my favorite? Oh, I love Superman. You know, my favorite is Spider-Man because he's the everyman superhero, and I identified a lot. But as far as like superhero, like, I love Superman way more than Batman. You know, like so he's the best because he's a good guy, and that's my whole.
Sometimes that comes.
It bites him in the ass. That's why people don't like him because he's not cool. Batman is cool, right?
True. Yeah,
Superman is not cool. They've done what they can in these gritty BS movies and some stuff, but Superman is a Boy Scout. He is a stand-up guy. He's a big nerd. That's what he is. He's not cool, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like it's even like Mickey Mouse. Like
he is.
If you look at like the Disney characters,
he is Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, right. He's the But usually people would say their favorite is the more peripheral characters.
Yep. And it's this hierarchy. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Me?
Yes.
Jeez, I'd have to. Michelangelo? Probably?
Damn right. Okay. He's a party dude.
All right. Yeah.
Leonardo leads. Donatello does machines. Okay? Yeah, that's right. Okay? Raphael is cool but crude. Michelangelo's a party dude. So Michelangelo, is also my favorite. Orange, also my favorite color. Yeah. But no one really ever says Leonardo, and if anyone does, it's because he has swords. Who's your favorite Powerpuff Girl? Favorite Powerpuff Girl?
I struggle to even remember.
Okay. I guarantee it's probably either Bubbles or Buttercup, because it's not Blossom, because Blossom's character is the leader. Leonardo's character is the leader.
Yeah. Okay.
And the problem with any archetype, okay?
Mo from the Three Stooges.
Mo from the Three Stooges, some people might like him the most, but most people liked Curly.
Yeah, Curly's
Right.
But Mo is their leader, as
Right.
Homer Simpson told us.
That's right, and Mo is their leader. That's right. That's so funny. So that's the thing about it, is that the leader often gets kind of screwed when it comes to in the personality department, because their personality is that of leader.
Right,
That
'cause you
means
have
that
to
they're the mom.
Yeah.
Leonardo's the
yeah.
mom of the team. Obey the rules. We can't do that. Don't do this.
Right.
And that's almost every archetype
Yeah,
of
that's
things you
true.
look at.
People like the misfit more.
Yes.
Character.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's. I heard this somewhere, and whatever. It's everyone likes the asshole. Everyone likes
Yeah,
the
that's
asshole
true.
character.
Or even go back to Seinfeld, right? Is
Yeah.
Jerry anyone's favorite character? Probably not.
No, Jerry's the straight man in his own
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Because that's his job. You know, he's sarcastic here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but it's Kramer, wacky guy,
Yeah.
and everyone likes angry guy.
Right.
Lewis Black on the Daily Show.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone loves the angry lunatic. Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah.
That's why Oscar the Grouch exists, because you need that. Even on Sesame Street, it can't be all roses and stuff. They've even said, I'm not sure if you ever saw this controversy. When they released Sesame Street on DVD a few years back, and they stopped, because that was the time, let's release everything on DVD, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not everything made it.
Right.
That thing has over 40 years of seasons.
Yeah.
Okay? So when they released it, there was a warning on it that some of this content is not appropriate for children. Yep.
No, I don't remember that. What was the content that wasn't?
Sesame Street, regular ass Sesame Street from the 70s. Because by today's PC standards, some of this would not be deemed appropriate, and you might be offended. You might be offended by how black some of these black characters are in the 70s. You might be offended by some of this or some of that, and that's their word about it. You might be offended by what Oscar the Grouch says. And they said, in today's world, we would never invent a character like Oscar the Grouch. The only reason he's still on Sesame Street is he's grandfathered in.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
They would not. I remember we went through a time where Cookie Monster was not allowed to have cookies. They made the famous, terrible song, Cookies Are a Sometimes Food, and made him eat vegetables for a few years.
They've done with that?
Yeah, because they realized it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a big deal.
Right.
And it's a parent's job to say, hey, you can't have cookies right now.
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can, though, and when you have one, you can act like Cookie Monster.
Yeah, no,
That's
so,
it.
I mean, is anyone under the impression that Cookie Monster's making kids
Yes, that was the controversy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's exploited. Okay.
Kids love cookies because cookies are delicious.
Yes, but we're telling them that, and you're promoting it, and then whatever. That's the problem. And again, you were a school teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are parents taking blame for things these days? Because I don't think they are they? No, they're just going to scream at you,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the problem. All right. That is one of the things, is that it's not my fault. It's Cookie Monster's fault that kids want cookies. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
you can't say no to them.
right, you have to be not their friend. You have to be not cool. That's right, mom's not cool right now. You're not allowed to have cookies. And then that kid's gonna cry and scream.
Right.
Because that's a part of growing up. And it's also part of being a parent is, yes, your kid is gonna sometimes cry and scream. You have to not care.
Yeah.
You have to kind of not care. You have to be like, this is okay for him
Right.
to get denied a cookie and cry about it. That's okay. And he'll learn that, all right, maybe if he doesn't cry and throw a fit, maybe he can then have one. And that's what parenting is.
Right. Get
But-
them ready for the
right.
way the world is. because
Right.
You don't get
But-
them to cry and get cookies.
Right, and that's kind of where we're at now. It seems like a lot of this is very sensitive this, very sensitive that. I made my ABC book like I was telling you, right? And
The ABCs of grocery.
ABCs of groceries, that's right. So it's all cute fruits and vegetables and pizza and nachos.
Okay.
Because life has pizza.
It does.
It does. We have to shelter them. And even in my more recent book, I drew a cute kid holding a cheeseburger. Can you change that to a carrot? Because kids are excited about carrots, right? No, they're not. Yeah. But they were afraid that cheeseburger, and that's a cheeseburger, not a candy, not an ice cream, where I understand. So in the ABCs of groceries, turn the page, this is for that, S is for that, R is for root beer. No, some woman threw it, because soda.
Yeah.
I put soda in there, and she was offended.
Right.
My kids don't drink soda. And I'm like,
Yeah, but, you know
yeah,
what?
but soda exists, and they're gonna know,
It's
yeah.
going to make them want it more.
Right, and it's okay, but it exists. No, she was livid at me
Yeah.
that I would do that. In this book of almost entirely, fruits, vegetables, this and that, cake. He's going to have cake.
Right. What do you have in his birthday?
Are you upset that there's cake? Yes, I am upset that you put cake in here. So,
I'm trying to root out cake
right?
from this world.
So that is the world we live in. Okay? Where again, people are offended.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see a stop to that because it gives fuel to the other side too, the kind of right wing, everyone, because sometimes they have a point with that. Like
No, they do.
So much,
there is such a thing as being too liberal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm I'm a liberal guy.
It's like the kind of Silicon Valley, some of the types they show in that.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God.
Right.
Me,
Where it is like this granola is organic from a mountain in a forest, and this,
Right.
that, it costs $92 a pound here.
I remember
like, it's so insane.
When I used to teach like in the inner city in Boston, so we worked with nonprofits, so we'd have these meetings, and it was a lot of Cambridge people. Cambridge is where Harvard is, and it's very crunchy and very, elitist.
Oh, I'm sure it's where, isn't that, I could swear it's the nation's top export of 80s villains. I could swear that's where they all come from, just knotted about.
Yeah.
They're not having any of that stuff. No dancing here.
So I remember there was one meeting, and these people, I swear they were trying to out-liberal each other.
Really?
And she was telling her how she doesn't use Tupperware because of the chemicals and whatever, and she doesn't use this, and it was just ridiculous because these people, they were all the administrative people. Meanwhile, we're the teachers, we're the ones on the ground, we're getting paid crap compared to what they're getting. They're driving Priuses, and I'm taking the bus to work, and we're just hearing this, and it's just like, oh, you're ridiculous. Like, in moments like that, you're like, I see why Trump won now, because of people like you.
It is some of those people that tire out some of us, where it is a bit sensitive. Like, here, pick your battles.
Exactly.
Pick your battles. And again, like, and I've dealt with this stuff, being offended, people being offended. So I used to work at a grocery store, and I drew an elephant. Okay? Take it down. Some woman came in. You take that elephant down. Do you know how the circus treats elephants? Oh. How dare you this, how dare that? Now you do that, right? What just happened? What just happened? A few months ago. The circus went out of business because they got rid of the elephants.
Right.
Because enough people complained because it was abusive. So there I was being, how dare you? Give me a break. It's a picture of an elephant. I'm selling peanut butter. What is wrong with you? What is the problem? What is the problem? He's standing on his hind. That's a circus elephant. He's up on his legs doing this with a little deedle-dee on his head. And yes, he's excited about the peanut butter, right? Nope, take it down. We didn't take it down. All right, and then we got a phone call later, another complaint. Happens in the same day. What are the odds? All right, it was her husband. Okay, so she makes someone call.
Oh, that guy probably.
Right.
Jesus,
I got to do this now. Right.
All right, Bill, shut you up.
2 weeks go by, or a week comes by. There she is again. Okay, and then they see me. I'm livid over this. And she goes, I demanded that this was taken down. It is offensive. It is this. It is that. And what do you think happened?
You ended up taking it down.
We had to take it down. So it's hanging up in a friend's house, but then what happens a few years later? Blackfish, right, from SeaWorld comes out, that movie. And then also, we are going to get rid of elephants at the circus because it's not right. And then a few years later, the circus shuts down. Just this past year, shut down in 2017, I believe. And of all places on Long Island, where at Nassau Coliseum, I wish I could have gone. I would have paid $1,000 to go to the last circus. Like, isn't that something? But, yep, that happened. So I was wrong in a way, or she was right or whatever. Should she be offended? No. Does she have a cause? Yes. Can she point out this and that in a more mature manner? Probably. Okay? Was that elephant hurting anyone? No, but it's promoting the stereotype or promoting the message or the whole thing that we can still do with people, which is terrible. So she did have a right to feel that way because, man, maybe she really does love elephants. And she was right because everything in history unfolded they are mistreated. We have to put a stop to it. They put a stop to it. And yes, that put the circus right out of business because once they lost the elephants, they lost all their ticket sales. That is exactly what did it. And they said it. They said once we lost the elephants, it was over.
That was it,
Yep. So
I just wonder, did anything get accomplished by that? I just wonder if...
You got to think of the world. Think of America. Think of how many people in America care about that issue. Okay? And that issue that she thinks about or whatever, that she might donate to on a Facebook page or might go to whatever. When she pulled up to that place, that is her, place that she goes to and loves that grocery store and is a fan of it, and that's staring her in the eyes, and to her, it is as offensive because we are ignorant to the problem, right? Yeah. That's what you're ignorant. And it's like, yeah, I was ignorant to how real that problem was, because we all roll our eyes. That's not, you're being a baby, you're being hypersensitive. She should have handled herself better, because of course she was very immature about it and screaming and like making it seem them kind of crying about it. And then you don't know what they do. And it's like, stop it. It's a performance. You're here to perform.
Right.
But, right. Yeah. But if there was a real thing, like, what's it called? It's just about being sensitive. Like, here's the thing. When I had to change that cheeseburger, it's a black kid holding it. So there are certain foods that I would make sure he would never hold, because you can't do that, because it's wrong, and it's going to bother someone, okay? That's what's going to happen. If I do any amount of vegetables that might be, what are those, greens? That was already one of them. I can't just put celery or whatever. Because people say, what are those, greens? Collard greens, this and that. That's the classic one. Or the classic, the watermelon joke, which I'm sure is the one everyone
like the
thinks.
Dave Chappelle thing when he's like, I can't order fried chicken.
Right.
People think I order fried chicken. So I'm like, I order because it's delicious.
Yeah, because it's delicious. Right. Exactly right. Yeah. Where you don't want to do that. And again, if I didn't know better, or I didn't know things, or was a moron, I'm like, whatever, I'll just make them hold a watermelon, and didn't realize that, and someone says, you do know that that's a really bad stereotype, and I'm like, shut up, you're wrong, because I don't know about it. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Because that is what happens. So like I say, history unfolded. Believe me, if there were still elephants in the circus and the circus was in business and nothing was happening, do you think I'd feel this way? No, I'd be like, yeah, she's an idiot. But I was proven wrong.
Yeah.
So it's fine. There are ways to handle being offended by things that are, of course, not the most important. Because was that the most important thing? It's not. Yeah. Don't be so hyper offended and hypersensitive, because that's what a lot of.
Right. I think it's being accusatory too. Like as if you have some sort of ill intent by doing that. Like have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah. Hey, did you know?
Yeah.
Pull someone aside and talk to them.
Like, just letting you know.
Yep.
I might not be the only one that's offended by this.
Yep.
This is a thing, and
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it was interesting. It's really interesting. Again, all this stuff, it's like everything's a seed. I don't know. You just think of topics. Topics are seeds, and as time goes on, remember how many people you heard about Atkins growing up in the '80s, right?
Yeah.
Boy, then you remember it in the early 2000s, right? Where every menu adopted it. Atkins finally blew up.
Bunless burger.
Yep.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
I remember also vegetarians. Never heard of vegans. Then by the time vegetarians are mainstream, what are vegans? What?
Yeah.
Now vegans, everything is still growing.
Right.
How many of your friends have?
How about transgender?
Right.
That's
right. And gay.
Period.
Right.
And being gay.
Like that was our word that we used to. That's gay. This is gay. Growing up in the '90s. Yeah. That's gay. This is gay. It was the word for negativity.
Right. Yeah,
Look how far.
2000.
Nope. People made decisions.
Yeah.
You needed. I remember joking about that decision. What do you think the joke was? Oh, we got to stop saying, oh, that's gay. But then one day you realize, that really is wrong. Like this doesn't make sense. Yeah. Why have we made this word the word for this stinks or this sucks? Like,
true. Yeah.
And I'm glad that it left.
Yeah, sure. I'm not missing it.
No.
When you hear like, well, I can't say this anymore. Like, why do you need to say?
Why do you need to say that, right?
You can't think of another word.
Yeah.
For the F,
Right. And that's a big part of it. So, like another good example is like declawing animals.
Okay.
Have you heard about that? Like people, they don't, and now they'll get little clip covers instead, because people, the message of it's like as if someone clipped off the tips of your fingers.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Never ever heard that growing up, and now I remember hearing.
I noticed when the cat would fall, he'd kind of cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
He's feeling pain. I've noticed that a while ago.
Okay.
I don't know if that was true, but he used to kind of cringe a little bit.
Yeah. When they get declawed, it's just the declawing. Afterwards, because all my cats growing up were declawed.
Yeah.
They're all declawed. It's a normal thing that's what you do with cats, right? You don't want them clawing up your shit. So that's the thing, is that now that is not what you do immediately. You might even say don't. Circumcisions. Isn't that becoming a bigger thing? Like where, there's a joke in there somewhere, isn't that becoming a bigger thing? But there's circumcisions are a thing where now it's not default that that's what happens. Now it's something people think about and judge and think about, because religion has changed.
Right.
Even religion, atheism. Could you say you're an atheist in 1985? No, you couldn't. You were a pariah.
It's tough to now. I mean, even
And now people are very,
holdouts,
yep, but people very much talk about it. Celebrities talk about it. It does
sure.
not blacklist you from anything or mean that you are done. You know, I remember when I was young and I was watching Penn and Teller do something. My mom said, you know, he worships Satan. And I'm like,
yeah.
what? He was one of the first, yep.
profile, yeah.
And you see that his nail is painted red because he had the one nail painted signified something, like in his cults and blah, blah, blah. Because that's what the National Enquirer said that week, I assume. You know, but still reads it today. But, and it's the number one paper in America. Just go check it out. National Enquirer is still the worst. Yeah, it's out there.
Trump's good friend.
Really?
They're the one that bought, was it Karen McDougal, who's the other one that's now saying she had an affair with him?
Oh, fun.
I might be getting her and Stormy Daniels mixed up. There's just too many now.
There's a lot.
So they bought
Check
her,
those tags.
So they bought her story, and they said they'd give her like $130,000 for a story. They got the story and then shelved it. So basically, they bought her silence. Yeah.
I did not know
she's
that.
suing right now to get them to, let her talk about it.
Oh, wow.
So an exclusive, because
That's
I buy your
funny.
exclusive story. But
Wow.
clever, right?
That's insane. I know why I recognize that. It's because when it says Stormy Daniels, it says, you may also like, and it's her name.
Okay.
So.
Just the chain of.
Yeah. Oh, man, I love what you told me last week about the comments section of the porns have gotten very political.
Yeah.
How exciting. What a riot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I like the stuff we've been talking about, to be honest with you, this entire time. I like that we're talking about hustling, what it is to be freelance, what that even means in general, what it might even mean in Tucson. It's a lot.
Right, because you hear the freelance economy, the gig economy, and
Yeah.
it seems like, oh, this is great, I can do whatever you want, but it's a lot of.
It's a lot of networking.
What's the word I'm looking for? You have
Self-esteem, self-aggrandizing,
You have to
worth.
motivate yourself.
Yeah, motivate. Okay, yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a term, self something.
Sure.
So you don't have somebody else. You don't have a boss telling you, you're going to get fired if you don't do this. You have to.
You have to know that you're going to lose a gig, right?
Sure.
Get up and get to work.
There's
You have to be
something
responsible.
that you
Yep.
missed out, and,
Yep.
and you have to figure out a schedule and
Yep.
when you're going to do these things.
Yep.
You have to really treat it as a business.
Exactly right.
That's
You have
the
to.
only way to work.
And it's difficult. And again, it depends on who you are as a person too.
Sure.
Sometimes I'm all over the place, but a lot of times I'm very much like, I need to focus on this. If I'm doing emails, I'm not drawing, checking an email, watching a show, making coffee. Nope. It's email time.
Right.
And a lot of them tell you to do that. This is good advice.
Yeah.
If you're a freelancer, you wake up and it's email time. And you have to sit and give email a few hours, answer all those emails.
Right. Yeah.
And then make sure you've got an alert on so when you get a new email, because man, that happens. That is the one problem that your wife would have and I do have of what time does business happen? Business starts at 7, 8 in the morning.
True, yeah.
Yeah. So with my schedule, I usually like to sleep until about a nice Tucson noon. And that's right.
I would if I didn't work. I mean, weekends.
Yeah.
I sleep like a
But
teenager.
yeah, I'm up till 5 a.m. I'm up till 5 a.m. That's when I do work. I'm sure some of these people, they see an email come from me and it's like he sent this at 4:38 in the morning.
Right.
So he's either up early or up late.
I'm up, I was at the gym.
Yep, just getting it done. Gotta go burn it off. Yeah.
Sitting there, chip crumbs.
Yep. Nope, not doing that at all. Full of chip crumbs. That's when it's certainly, those emails are happening while I'm having that snack, putting on some things and going to bed. Like it is time to these last emails of got it or just did this, when it's not the full email.
Sure.
But then you're gonna wake up to the response to that email is my point. Be ready to then go and say, all right, they said all this stuff now, so now I got to tippity type.
Within an
Yes.
hour or something.
Right. So it's tough. There have been times that I've woken up to check the email.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed at 5, 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I just set an alarm, 9 o'clock, do I get an email? Nope. Check it again.
Yeah, I used to
Because
just
I'm
have a
waiting.
guy that called me every day at 9.
Okay.
He was very kind of I had one failure of a freelance experience, if you want me to tell you. It was a good,
Please.
It was a good failure.
Go on.
So I had a guy, he was writing, he had a website, and I forget what the website was for, but he wanted me to do these legal kind of stories of people scamming others. So
Okay.
I'd take kind of stories from the FBI and sort of make them, he wanted them to be kind of humorous.
Okay.
I wasn't giving him what he wanted, and he was right. Everything he was saying, I was just, I don't know. He had to do a lot of editing and I wasn't adjusting to what he wanted. I was just the wrong client.
Sure.
And we kind of figured it out soon enough. And he was great because after like the 4th time, he offered me, instead of firing me, he ended up offering me more money. And he said, I realize that maybe I'm not paying you enough, so I'm gonna double your pay and see how it happens. Okay, which is cool.
So wait, slow down.
Yeah.
You're telling me I should do a very terrible job at my next freelance gig, double the pay.
Double the pay. Yeah.
This must happen all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, don't take that advice. Work that time. Next time, didn't have what he wanted. You know, we just couldn't. I couldn't get it. He couldn't get it. You know, I mean, you're just like an artist, right? You're a writer doesn't mean you can write everything.
Right.
It's certain things.
You got styles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So that's what it was. And but he was great. He gave me a positive review on it because I was in contact with him all the time.
Okay.
I'd wake up at that point when he would call me every day, and I would take his call and discuss things and take his advice. And I remember one time the thing that he really respected is he asked me, there was something about a shell company involved in it. And I was writing about it, and he's like, well, do you know what a shell company is? And I almost tried to BS him, and I said, not really, no. And he said, that's great that you said that. And then he explained to me what it was. So he really respected the fact that I said I didn't. I admitted to not knowing what it was.
Well, that's damn good.
Know? Yeah. So I learned that from that experience.
That's good. Yeah. Honesty, best policy.
It was. Because he would have known. I mean, if you know something really well, like, say, comic book art or something, and someone's trying to BS you into them knowing what they're talking about, you know immediately.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, you know.
Especially when you'll then be like, I'm pretty sure you don't know that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they still try to defend it. And it's like, all right, let's move on.
Not know things.
Yes. You know? Some people, it hurts their image and their ego. You know, one of the things, so speaking of honesty, all right, so now there's another thing going on. It has to do with one of the Thrive things. One of the people at Thrive, she did the TED Talks. So TED Talks in Tucson exist, okay? So we have TEDx. Yep.
Right, okay.
All right? It was a phenomenal event. All right, it was really good. But now it's okay, so some time has gone on, and now it's time to do submissions for the next one. And I'm going to submit, because I think I can give a TED Talk.
Yeah, I think you could too.
Right?
That'd be great.
So I want to give a TED Talk on honesty.
Okay.
Yes. So if I can be honest with you for a second, would you like to hear an honest fact?
I would.
About your BFF, your best friend forever. I have not told a lie.
Roast me right now.
Oh, no. So here's the thing about your beard. Yeah. So it looks glorious. So, and I have beard envy. So, no, the whole thing is I've not told a lie since I'm like 25.
Nothing?
No. And you fight it every day. All right? I stopped saying, I'm sorry I was late. There was trip. Nope, sorry I was late.
Yeah,
that's it.
That one, yeah.
A lot of people, they make an excuse for whatever. I do just say, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'll be able to go. I'm not going to come. Instead, it's like, maybe I'll go.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Why lie to people about things like that? Right. But I realized that when you lie, I grew up lying plenty. I used to be a kleptomaniac too, stealing toys from stores. Now Toys R Us going out of business, I feel bad.
I know, you might have contributed to
that. Horrible. So,
Jeffrey doesn't have a job now.
I know, because of me. So the whole thing is that I actually saw a great Dan Rather thing about that and how that all worked. Big scam. I'll tell you about that maybe in a second.
Toys R Us?
How Toys R Us got completely scammed.
Okay.
Yep. But my whole thing is, I realized it was this. So I grew up, my family is great, all that stuff. But at a point in my life, my siblings started messing around with the pot, all right? And it did not affect them in a positive way, all right? And they were young, 16 or 18, you know? So it changed them a lot. Like they became like dirtbags. Like all of a sudden.
This was your siblings?
Yes. So all of it, and differently.
Oh, okay.
No, one was older than me and one's younger than me, all right? So I saw this in my life, and weed terrified me. Because it turned, it was like, oh, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Yeah. Like I watched it change these people. Then I get a job and I'm friends with someone, and this subject came up about that, and I was very anti-drug, like very staunchly. I lost a friend over it at a point when he's like, I kind of smoke. And I'm like, how dare you?
Okay.
And was way over the top with it. Like just heartbroken, but judged him about you. And I'm like, what a stupid thing now, right? Oh, because I was such a saint, let me tell you. I'm a goody two-shoes. And that's what Superman, this all goes to Superman. So the thing about it is, and he makes fun of me to this day, because now every once in a while I'll partake, sure. But at the time, staunchly against it. all right? Like a no, like real, I'd hold a flag, I'd go to a protest.
Those are drugs.
Yes, drugs are bad, okay? So that was very much my personality because I was terrified of it. Then I'm at a job, talking whatever, and he's like, marijuana doesn't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody's like, I'm high right now. And I'm like, what? He's like, I've been high every time you've known me. I'm like, really? And then you make more friends and you're around drugs, and it's not monsters.
Do you know that that was why your siblings went? I mean,
No, it was because again, no, it was a big part of it, big part of it.
But
because
wasn't there other factors like the people they were hanging out with who were potheads?
No,
who were this certain?
no, because
Wait,
it
you
was
were actually
yes,
Yeah.
because then she quit and it went away.
Oh.
You get it? Yes, and when my brother stops, he's a different person too. Different. It's a fact. Because keep in mind, we're all a big ball and skeleton of chemicals, right?
Right. Okay.
Right.
So it impacted them.
So
Yeah.
they have chemicals that are, I would say, imbalanced. And then they might, not to be talking about my family too much, but, they take stuff for their,
Send this to you.
right? It's not like they watch things. But this is the thing, is that, people that we know, I'm sure, take medicine or pills for a thing. It keeps them balanced, or it's this, I need this, I need that. I need that. There's a lot of people, especially in our country, especially in this world now, how many people have a thing and a pill for it, right? So that's the thing, is that later on they find out, I need this pill to kind of be, So that stuff that they were doing themselves made them way whacked out. They're already not adjusted normal. So then when they introduce drugs or alcohol,
So it was improper medication.
in a way, And again, there are side effects to that stuff. That's very real.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen a kid freak out and almost throw a friend off a roof once.
Good Lord.
And he's the most balanced guy.
Yeah.
He's got like 4 kids. He actually adopted. Poor kid. His father died of a heroin overdose. And
Oh my
he
gosh.
adopted the kid into his
Wow.
family. And this is that guy. He had this crazy freak out.
Yeah.
We've never seen that person since. It was this one moment.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's
thing.
interesting.
So that was the one time I was like, oh, this is like a more
Right.
nuanced issue than I
Yeah.
thought it was. It's
And again,
not drugs are bad or drugs are good. It's,
no.
It's,
And it's because this is why I tell people that, like, if you feel bad that you are prescribed prescription drugs and whatever, maybe you feel bad. Not everyone should feel bad about it. Your chemicals here are weird, and this takes it to normal. I'm glad we live in the future, and that's when this stuff happens. Instead of we put you in the insane asylum and maybe electrocute you a little bit too. Like, that's the thing. There's nothing wrong or to be ashamed of that stuff. And even I took so I've never been on any of those things, but weed at a point, but also I made sure to not drink whiskey for like 5 years because I couldn't. It screwed me up.
Definitely.
Yep, beers, give me 12 of them.
Right.
But whiskey, I'd go to the dark side, and that's what we called it. Let's go to the dark side. Like, so you got to realize that all these things that you introduce to yourself, they're not all going to affect everybody the same. Yeah, there's a general consensus, but tequila affects people different. A gin drunk is different than wine drunk. It just is, So it was at this point that my parents had been saying they're very proud that I've never done this. My mom would tell that to people all the time. He's never done drugs. He's a good kid, good guy, this, that. And then I had to. So after a fun bout of living in Tucson, I hurt myself and started to smoke weed for that, because I don't like those pain pills, because I had a problem with those once.
I had them once when I got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Yeah.
I just hated the feeling.
No, I got screwed up on them for a couple of months.
I never got into it. I never liked the feeling enough.
No, it screwed me up, and then I would, and this is again, I think of younger me. I would take a pill and drink some beers. Like, oh good, let's get real screwed up tonight.
As a recreational kind of
Yep.
thing, yeah.
So it started to become an issue, and I'm like, I can't do this. I got to not do these pills. So the next time I hurt myself, which was this shoulder here, I've had surgery on it, and I'm in Tucson, I have to not work. My friends bring me an Easter egg, we would call it. So it's some fun times, another nickname for it. Baby turtles, another fun nickname. Just wrapped up in tinfoil, hidden on my porch. They're like, there's an Easter egg outside. And I'd go do that. So that was how I did that. So I do all that stuff, and it ends up like where I then, I do other, you drink, experiment. By this point, I'm in my mid-20s, so I've done some things. All right. So I'm going to move away from Tucson, and for the first time in my life, let's celebrate. How we're going to celebrate it? LSD. So yeah, all right. My friends are apparently pretty professional at this sort of thing.
Okay.
But all right, let's give it a shot. It was very cool. It was an interesting experience, a hell of a thing. I've not done it hundreds of times since. I've probably only done it maybe 2 other times. Never as good as the first. So I'm like, all right, never mind. You're chasing the dragon here. Like, that's it. But, so I had done that. I had an epiphany with that, all right? And it was about people, do you remember MySpace?
Of course, yeah.
Right. Do you remember the thing on MySpace that was things you like, music, this and that? Heroes, right? Do you remember there was a heroes column?
Remember that was a column.
There's a heroes
Yeah,
column
okay.
at the bottom.
Ooh, I should look that up.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't, it's all gone.
Is it?
Yeah,
You can't-
because it turned into a music thing and all the blogs, everything's gone. It's a bummer.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I got mad at a girl, you know, because she's the love of my life and there's the reason heartbreak's happening and blah, 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 right? And I wished people were their heroes. You list these people's heroes and then you're a mess. You are nothing like these people you say you like. You know, you're nothing like these people.
Right.
All right? And I said, I am like my heroes. I will be that.
Okay.
All right? And I said, if I was half the man that my dad was, I'd be 3'2". But, so there's that good joke. But my other hero is Superman because he is good. And I hate that there's that Superman hate. People hate someone that's just, he's just good. He's a good guy.
Right.
You know?
Because he's not
Right.
the rules or
Right.
whatever. It's, yeah,
And if that's my hero, I'm like, and I realize that that's a thing. And I'm like, you know, truth, justice, and then the American way. But again, he's now not an American citizen anymore. He's a citizen of the world because we're in modern times.
True.
He gave away his American
yeah.
citizenship in a comic, and it caused controversy because he's like, it's not the American way. Imagine,
Oh.
could he say I'm for truth, justice, the American way today? I hope not. Okay, but that's the thing. He's a citizen of Earth.
Did he get in line? How would I have citizenship?
It's always a fight in Superman books because they call him an immigrant. He is.
Oh, okay. That was a
He's an
thing that
immigrant.
They dealt with? Okay.
Yep. It's an interesting topic and how they handle it. So that's the thing. So I said there, though, I'm like, I stopped lying. So then I had to go, and I moved back to whatever, and I tell them. I tell them I even did LSD. They were terrified.
No.
And I should not have told them. There are certain things that your parents never want to know.
Yeah.
All right? But I also said, look, I'm here, I'm standing, I'm fine. It's not a thing. Like, and what it did do is I had this epiphany to be an honest person.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Like, pretty good result of that journey, that very interesting psychedelic journey that I came out the other end and was like, things are different. My viewpoint is a bit different. Like it was a substantial thing to try. And again, as an artist, you always hear about it. So I want to try as an artist. You got to just see and what happens. And it was very interesting. I don't recommend it to things, but you know, I also did not smoke weed until I was 23. Okay, or 22, I think. I graduated college. I said, I will never do this. I will not do that drug that I have been afraid of, but I gotta know, because I've been very opinionated, so let me actually do whatever. I waited until I graduated college, because every dorm room was just a different buffet flavor, right?
Right, sure.
So I made sure to not do that. I'm like, I get addicted to Captain Crunch. I don't want to do any of this. So did all that, got out, treated myself like an adult, tried that stuff when I'm an adult, did all that stuff as an adult, making real decisions with a better mind, not a 15-year-old, you know?
Right.
Like, so that's the thing. So then I become that, and I just kind of have carried that on of like, I don't lie. I really don't. Not little lies, and then you realize how bad you get at it because then you're in a situation you might say a thing, and instant, like I was trying to cover, so I told her I was trying to cover up, someone said something once, and it was, I don't want that guy at the store anymore, all right? And so I had to tell the guy, and this was my store, I'm like, I got to tell the guy, hey, guess what, you're not really allowed around here because I've heard some complaints and there was this, who said this? I'm like, well, no, I mean, it got said the other night when well, this was here, that happened, and he's like, so it must have been so-and-so. And I'm like, no, right. And I'm like, this is what happens when you lie. This is what happens when you lie. Now we got to figure out a way out of this.
It is often you digging your way.
Yeah.
It never really. Yeah, lying, you never really like win from it.
Yeah. No, you can. Lots of people lie their way to do everything.
You have to
But
be good at it, though.
you got to be
Like
good at it.
Trump, He's really good at it.
Right. Well, and he's inept. Like, who knows what he actually believes?
Sure.
Like, that's the other thing. He just knows things to do. You know?
right.
It's not necessarily, but he doesn't, he's just saying things. I don't know. So, but that, I don't know, it was a big lesson. It was an interesting thing. And it was about being heroes, and it's all because of Superman. Man of Steel. I would do that because, kaboom, there he is, Man of Steel. That's from my dad right there. It says dad.
I got a friend coming to town because we got a big wedding.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law's wedding, and he's coming to town. He was interested in doing something with us for Create Tucson, but he's a big Superman guy.
Oh,
So we get
cool.
along. Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
I'm a Superman guy. It's true.
Superman guy.
That's right. Again, Spider-Man, he's my best friend one, but Superman is kind of like superhero, like he is, because he's more of a dad.
Yeah, I got
You know, back then he was anyway, because now
Right. And they make him all hip now.
everyone's young.
Superman's
Superman's young.
He's got like a, one of
Big blowout.
Yeah.
Got that pompadour man bun.
Raven.
Man bun Superman. Remember, I grew up with long
Doing
hair.
yoga.
I had long hair Superman after he died. Superman dies in like 1993, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That was
And then he
great.
comes back,
Yeah.
and he's got
Cool now.
he's got long hair, and he kept long hair for a while.
All right.
Yeah, super mullet. It was great. So yeah, it was interesting. It was really cool. But that's the thing about heroes, and that's the thing about honesty and all that sort of stuff. You know, and drugs. So it was an interesting thing. But I'm glad that that's like the guy I chose to be.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, it's an interesting
Something to
trait
look
to
up
be like,
I
yeah.
guess it's like what people look to Jesus for, right? Isn't that kind of the same idea? I know it's.
Listen, that guy, fast hands, all right? He, look, wine? That's as simple as that,
Yeah, all right, so
all right?
maybe
I
it's a
could do
different
it,
lesson.
trust me, I could do it right now. This wasn't straight vodka, trust me.
The healing the sick part and all that kind of stuff, and
Let me tell you.
telling the truth. You know,
Yeah, I bet.
The same kind of stuff.
I'm
He was
sure.
The, I'm not going to say he was the influence for Superman because he was created by Jewish.
He was,
Right, so
yes,
maybe that's
almost all the
But Jesus
superheroes
was
Jewish.
Jewish.
Yes, he was.
Right.
But, yeah, you never know.
I'm going to go ahead
You
and say
never
he
know.
was the influence story.
It kind of was. There's a big Messiah thing with Jesus, with
Yeah.
or with Superman and
There's
Jesus.
some of the
Big
biggest
Messiah with
Messiah
this
thing with
Jesus
I
fella.
don't know.
Yeah.
People are up and out
They
about the whole thing.
look to it. But yeah.
All right. We've been hanging out in this pool for a while, and I gotta pee.
You gotta take care of that?
Yeah.
All right. Debbie, it's you and me,
Yeah.
honey. Hang on, I'm gonna jump in. I don't wanna get wet. I don't wanna get too wet. Let me do it good. Gotcha. Okay, oh, that fin went in the wrong spot. Oh my God. All right, buddy. I'll see you later. Oh, it's just me and you, Debbie. Oh, Debbie. It's just me and you.